You spent $400 last month on things you forgot you bought. Not luxury items. Not emergencies, just stuff. A subscription here, a convenience purchase there. A treat-yourself moment that multiplied by 30. And here's the disturbing part. You probably couldn't name half of it right now if I asked. This isn't about being careless. It's about operating in an economy designed to make spending feel like breathing. Automatic. Invisible. Consequence-free. Until you check your account and realize you just funded someone else's retirement plan instead of your own. The average American now maintains 12 active subscriptions. 12. And research shows we underestimate our monthly subscription spending by 197%. You think you're paying $60. You're actually bleeding almost $200. So here's the question that should make you uncomfortable if you can't account for. Where for $100 went last month? What makes you think you'll have control over where for $1,000 goes this year? That pattern I just described. I've watched it destroy financial futures for years now. The mechanism is always the same. People mistake convenience for control, and by the time they realize the difference, they're sitting on consumer debt wondering where their 20s went. What frustrates me most isn't the spending itself. It's the invisibility. You're making financial decisions every single day that you don't even recognize as decisions anymore. And that's exactly how the system wants it. I'm Jordan, and I've spent enough time analyzing broke people with decent incomes to know this. The problem isn't that you can't afford your life. It's that your life has been engineered to be unaffordable. And most people won't figure that out until they're 40 with nothing saved and no idea how they got there. If that sounds like a trajectory you'd rather avoid, consider subscribing. Because what I do here is simple. I show you the financial patterns you're living inside of before they become permanent. Now, let's talk about the consumption habits that are quietly bankrupting your generation. Not because they're dramatic or obvious, but because they're so normalized you've stopped questioning them entirely. Habit 1. The subscription hydra. You think you canceled Netflix last year to save money. Admirable, disciplined, even. Except you're still paying for Spotify, Disney+, HBO Max, Apple iCloud Storage, Dropbox, Adobe Creative Cloud, Amazon Prime, your gym membership you haven't used in for months, that meditation app you downloaded during a panic attack, and DoorDash Plus because the free delivery supposedly pays for itself. It doesn't. Americans now spend an average of $273 per month on subscription services. That's $3,276 per year disappearing into recurring charges. But here's where it gets worse. Subscription companies bank on you forgetting. They literally calculate a passive subscriber rate into their business model. Translation, they profit from your inattention. You're not paying for services. You're paying a monthly tax on your own distraction. Now, you might be thinking, but I use most of these, do you? Or do you use them just enough to rationalize keeping them? There's a difference between utility and rationalization, and most people can't tell them apart anymore. Here's the test. If I took away every subscription you have right now, which ones would you actively miss within 72 hours? That's your real list. Everything else is financial noise dressed up as necessity. Cut the noise. Not next month. Today, because every subscription you keep just in case is a bet against your own discipline. And the house always wins that bet. Habit 2. Convenience bleeding. Let me describe your week. Monday, DoorDash because you worked late. Wednesday, Uber Eats because cooking felt like work. Friday, Grubhub because you deserved it. Sunday, Instacart because the grocery store was too far. You just spent $180 on food that would have cost you $60 if you walked into a store like a functiona. Adult. The average American now spends $3,200 per year on food delivery and convenience services. But the real cost isn't the money. It's the erosion of your tolerance for basic effort. You've outsourced so much of your daily life that normal tasks now feel like punishment. That's not convenience. That's learned helplessness with a credit card. Here's the psychology underneath. Every time you pay someone else to do something you could easily do yourself, you're training your brain that effort isn't worth your time. Eventually, that training extends beyond food delivery. It infects your entire relationship with money. Saving feels tedious. Budgeting feels oppressive. Self-discipline feels like a personality flaw. And suddenly you're 33, earning $70,000 a year, and you have $1,100 in savings. Not because you don't make enough, because you convinced yourself that convenience is a lifestyle instead of a luxury. The antidote is simpler than you want it to be. Do the annoying thing. Cook the meal. Walk to the store. Brew your own coffee. Not because it's virtuous, but because every time you choose effort over convenience, you're inoculating yourself against the financial atrophy that's normalized for your age group. Convenience is fine. Convenience addiction is bankruptcy with a 15-minute delivery window. Habit 3. Aspirational consumption. You bought a $90 yoga mat because the influencer you follow said it changed her practice. You don't do yoga. You've done yoga twice. The mat is currently holding your bedroom door open. That's not an exaggeration. That's a $1 for 100 peloton bike being used as an expensive clothing rack in 40% of American homes. That bought one. This is aspirational consumption, buying the identity of the person you want to be, instead of building the habits that would actually make you that person. And it's costing you thousands. The fitness industry alone extracts $37 billion annually from Americans who pay for gym memberships. They don't use equipment they don't touch and supplements they don't need. But it's not just fitness. It's the guitar you'll definitely learn, the books you'll totally read, the meal prep containers that promise to fix your diet, the productivity planner that's been empty since February. You're not investing in self-improvement. You're paying retail price for the fantasy of discipline without doing any of the actual work. Here's the part that should bother you. Aspirational purchases create a feedback loop. You buy the thing. You don't use the thing. You feel guilty about not using the thing. Then you buy another thing to compensate for the guilt of the first thing. Rinse, repeat. Stay broke. The way out isn't more intention. It's a simple rule. Prove the habit first, then buy the gear. Want to start running? Run in the shoes you already own for 30 days. Still running after 30 days. Now you can buy the $200 trainers, but not before. Because the person who needs the $90 yoga mat is the person who's already doing yoga on a $15 mat. Everyone else is just funding their own delusion. Habit 4. The upgrade trap. Your phone works. It makes calls, sends texts, runs every app you actually use, but it's 2 years old. And Apple just released a new one with a camera that's 47% better in low light. You don't take pictures in low light. You barely take pictures. But you're already justifying the $1,000 to $100 upgrade because your current phone feels slow. It doesn't feel slow. You feel bored. And the tech industry has spent billions training you to confuse boredom with obsolescence. Americans now upgrade their smartphones every 2.5 years on average, spending an average of $1.00 per upgrade. That's for $100 per year on a device that does the exact same job as the one you already have. Multiply that across cars, laptops, TVs, and appliances, and you're looking at $3,000, $5.00 per year spent on upgrades that produce zero measurable improvement in your actual life. This is the upgrade trap, the belief that newer automatically equals better, and better automatically equals necessary. It doesn't. Here's what actually happens. You upgrade. You get a dopamine hit for about 72 hours. Then the new thing becomes the normal thing, and you're back to baseline. Except now you're $1.00 poorer, and no happier than you were before. The question you need to ask isn't, is the new one better? It's, is my current one broken? If the answer is no, you don't have a tech problem. You have a spending problem dressed up as enthusiasm. And here's the kicker. Every dollar you spend upgrading a device that already works is $1. That's not compounding in an index fund. That $1,000 to $100 phone upgrade cost you $4,800 in future value over 20 years. You're not buying a phone. You're selling your 40s to feel excited in your 20s. Stop upgrading, start maintaining, and only replace things when they actually break, not when the commercial tells you they're outdated. So here's where we are. You now understand the 4 consumption habits that are bleeding you dry. Subscriptions you don't use, convenience you don't need, identities you don't embody, and upgrades that don't matter. And that means something changed in the last 12 minutes. You can no longer claim ignorance. If you keep these habits after this, it's not an accident. It's a choice, your choice. So here's your first domino. Open your bank statement right now. Not tomorrow, now. Find one subscription you forgot you had. Cancel it. That's it. 5 minutes. One action. But it's the action that breaks the pattern. If you want to keep breaking patterns instead of getting broken by them, subscribe to this channel. Not because I'm going to make you rich. I'm not. But because every week I'm going to show you the financial systems designed to extract from you, and the specific actions that let you opt out. The people who subscribe here prefer the discomfort of seeing the truth over the comfort of pretending everything's fine. If that's you, click the button. If it's not, good luck funding someone else's retirement.